All right, let's go to Canberra now. Joining us is the Deputy Opposition Leader, Sussan Ley. Sussan, good to see you. Plenty to talk about this morning. Let's start with Julian Assange. He's on his way to the courthouse. Have you got a comment on where that's at this morning?
Well, like ministers who've been asked these questions, Pete, I'm not going to inject myself into the debate. I've always said we respect the UK and the US justice systems, and as your previous commentators were identifying, the matter is not yet concluded. So no more from me.
Do you have any concerns about the ongoing relationship between Australia and the United States?
No, I don't. I simply don't. It's strong, it's enduring, it's the most important relationship we have.
OK. Let's go to Fatima Payman. She'll face no penalty from the Labor Party for crossing the floor last night. You got a comment on that this morning?
It's extraordinary, Pete. I mean, what is the Labor's party policy on this? Anthony Albanese has just shown such weak leadership since the attacks on October the 7th. Has Labor unilaterally changed the position, which was bipartisan, on a two-state solution? And what on earth is going on here on the floor of the Senate? We've got Labor senators on both sides of a debate. It's effectively a green light to Labor senators that if you feel strongly about an issue, you can cross the floor. So the shield of caucus solidarity is gone. And no one has crossed the floor in Labor since 1986. It's clearly not Labor Party policy that you do break that caucus solidarity. But here is a clear message that if you feel strongly about something, then you can.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the difference, though? Because members of the Liberal Party cross the floor quite often.
And we're Liberals, Pete, and that's why I'm a Liberal, and that's something that our party believes in. But it's not what the Labor Party believes in, and they've always said caucus solidarity is supreme. Now, I've been here for 2 decades, and I know there have been issues that Labor Party members have felt really, really strongly about, but they have maintained that caucus solidarity. Well, that's gone now. This is a big test for Anthony Albanese and for his leadership.
Final one on AEMO this morning. It's railed against your nuclear push, so you don't have a friend in AEMO this morning. It's getting behind renewables. It also claims renewables and the transmission is well behind schedule. What's your thoughts on that report this morning?
So well behind schedule. That's what AEMO has been saying, and we'll go through that report in detail, Pete, but it also warned recently of blackouts, brownouts, and not enough gas in the system over a very cold winter. So it's so vital that people understand that while the coalition supports renewables and gas and nuclear, Labor has a renewables-only approach, and it is failing miserably. It is not keeping up. That's clear from the report and from all the information we've been given. Meanwhile, we've got the Environment Minister boasting about reducing the number of gas project approvals. We've got the Resources Minister saying, yes, the price of gas will go up. We've got the State of Victoria saying we don't like any gas. And we've got Australians choosing between heating and eating this winter because it is just too cold. You can't keep the lights on and you can't keep your manufacturing businesses
But the
operating.
AEMO moving against nuclear, though, is that a blow for your nuclear ambitions?
Well, it isn't government policy for nuclear to exist, and therefore they are not in a position,
But you want it to be.
I anticipate, to evaluate it. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And that's why we're having this debate. That's why we're having this debate, because we know that you can't have a renewables-only approach. Well, if you've got 90% of power exiting the grid in the next decade and you haven't got secure baseload power, because all Labor talks about, and I've been listening to it all this week, Pete, is renewables, renewables. They're not actually able to say how you can stabilise the grid. In fact, the Environment Minister said earlier this week that hydrogen wasn't really at scale and, you know, probably couldn't do the job. They were my words, but definitely that was the interpretation. Okay. So, you know, what actually is going to provide secure baseload power? What is going to supply the baseload power that our businesses need? We can become an advanced manufacturing superpower if we do this well and if we have energy that provides what we know our businesses and industries desperately need, but they're not getting from a renewables-only approach.
Sussan Ley, thanks for your time.